we have the secession expenditure now in 2003, you know? And it says that the expenditure is for secession. And secession, Madam President? The secession bill was tabled in the Parliament here in 1998. 5 years after, the government comes, $300,000 for secession expenses. No, July 7, $500,000 for secession expenditure. And November 14, 2003, another $300,000. So the people of Nevis put in $800,000, the government. It's interesting who got this money, Madam President. And I just want to ask a question, and I'm going to say so in the House. I don't know if the honorable members, you were in here, so you might be able to help me. You were in this House for a long time. Now I have to look at me, that's all right. I need you to tell me. Because in reading this thing, Madam President, George David, he was paid $68,342 for furniture for the Independence Office. So where's the Independence Office? And where is the furniture? And who going to account for it? I live in Nevis and I'm supposed to know where the Independence Office is, and I don't have a clue. But another an air condition company gets $6,500 to put in the AC unit. Mr. Minister of Finance and the Honorable Member for St. Thomas's, you will have to immediately find out to please all of us in this House, and I believe other people, Madam President, that this money is somewhere, because, Madam President, this morning my phone rang 7 times. People need a little assistance, a little tapping up with this, that, and the other. $68,000 can stretch, Madam President. $68,000 for the furniture, and $6,568 and $674,500. What? For the Independence Office? So where it is? Member for St. Thomas's, I am going to ask you as I am your colleague minister, and it is not usual. You will normally ask me to do something and I will do it. This time around, I'm going to turn the table a little bit, and I'm going to have you accommodate me. Please seek to have your Ministry of Finance tell me, Hensley Daniel, where is the Independence Office, and I would like to count the furniture. And I want to know if the Board of Survey, the Public Service Board of Survey, has already written off the furniture. Want to know. Madam President, Ernst & Young Professional Services, $32,000. What they do to assess the cost of secession? Ernst & Young is an accounting firm. They charge heavy. They pay the people a lot of money. Ernst & Young, $32,000. And also, Madam President, these judges have to get a lot of things out of the secession thing. There's another George here. George Winter, 600 t-shirts and 2 banners. $177,748. I was in the opposition, I didn't get any t-shirt, and secession was for everybody. Don't understand. 6,000 t-shirts and 2 banners. I just saw somebody one this morning moving Nevis forward. Those are printed and paid by government money for secession. So what you do? You wear a t-shirt and you get it? TDC Airlines, $12,293 to fly in the Franklin group for the gospel concert. What happened? The gospel concert was to bless the secession. The people in Nevis couldn't pray and sing too. Franklin group come to get $12,293 to come in to sing us into secession. You know what is interesting about this, Madam President? 2003, there is no secession bill wasn't involved, you know? So why are we spending all this money? And you know, the Ministry of Finance should have another letter in here, you know. They should also have written that this expenditure could have been put off every next year. They too should have written. But I suppose the political process doesn't allow for that. And in the expenditure, Madam President, about 500,000 went for printing and publication services, you know. $500,000. Madam President, I really think that we ought not to treat the people of Nevis like this. I know we're on this side of the house. People are vexed with us for treating them good. Because they expect some people are vexed for treating them, with us for treating them good. Because they expect to be treated badly. Really, this is not good. Madam President, I basically think that this $800,000 was too much, and that $500,000 for printing and publication and so on. But my interest is in that $68,000 for the Independence Office. Do we have an Independence Square in Charleston? Wait. Madam President, I don't know. I am wondering if we have an Independence Square. Because if we have an Independence Square in Charleston, maybe everything around the name Independence. So if I go to Independence Square, it's Independence Office, Independence Bank, Independence School, Independence Church. I don't know. I just find this to be very, 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 very troubling. This is public money, Madam President. And we are being told on the talk shows of the opposition that this government is wasting money. This government doesn't know what it's doing. All that kind of rubbish, Madam President. But you know, just as we say in law, Madam President, facts are stubborn things. And these are the facts. These are the facts, Madam President. This doesn't tell us that you had a government which was serious about the management and operations of business. And I find that to be quite troubling. Madam President, if you already have tight money on you, just as the Financial Secretary said, Madam President, you don't take the money now. Since early in the year, the Financial Secretary writes to the Premier and Minister, look, things are tight. We can only afford such and such. And then you go further and say, well, really, basically, don't worry him. This is independence. And, you know what is upsetting, Madam President? You're talking here about $800,000. Madam President, my ministry, the Ministry of Social Development, and exclusively the Ministry of Youth, sent 17 young men in Trinidad for 3 months to equip them with skills to change their course in life, to make them far more productive citizens. And you know the cost, Madam President? Airfare, accommodation, and we give them a little stipend, and pay the institution $297,000, Madam President. So I could have taken nearly 3 batches of these fellas and help to turn the tide in relation to antisocial behavior, in relation to building up the skills bank in the country and so on. Madam President, there is the opportunity cost of money, you know.